Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long Boys Blues, 1975. A YouTuber's on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long Boys Blues, 1975.
This is Star Wars Arcade on the ZX Spectrum. I'm just going to shut up for a moment because listen to this. Anyone who knows how the ZX Spectrum beeper works will know that to do a rendition of Star Wars that good is unbelievably impressive. That's absolutely fantastic. So, this is, because obviously, as you know, I'm revisiting what I believe to be the greatest arcade ports on the ZX Spectrum, in my opinion, of all time. And I had to revisit Star Wars, released by Domark in 1987, like obviously licensed off the 1983 Atari Arcade machine of the same name, but developed by Vector Graphics. Beautiful. Oh, it's going on repeat. Let's get into this then. Yeah, there was no 128K version. I think there was a disc version. I can't get that to work. I'm playing this on my retro games, the Spectrum. So as you can see, written by Vector Graphics on the left-hand side. So the 1983 Atari arcade machine is the absolute thing of legends. I've gone on about it before, so I'll be very brief. I first played it as a kid in 1983. So I would have been, what, 7? 8 in Minehead, and it was the full sit-down cabinet, and it absolutely blew me away because the vector graphics were fantastic. We were huge Star Wars fans. The synthesized speech or sample speech, which we thought sounded just like real life until you're an adult and you play it in MAME. But still, it was utterly fantastic, and it's my favorite arcade cabinet of all time. I would love the 1-up cabinet, but I can't justify that level of money. So it was ported by Domark. I mean, there is an Atari version, 2600 version, there's a 5200 version, a television version and a ColecoVision version, but they aren't by Domark or Vector Graphics. There is no NES version, is there? Which is a bit weird. Yeah, but Vector Graphics did the 8-bit micros, so the Spectrum, Amstrad, Commodore. They're all pretty good, to be fair, but of the 8-bits, I would say that the Spectrum is the best. And then there's an Amiga and Atari ST version, which are utterly fantastic. I have gameplays of all of them because it's one of my favourite games of all time. But yeah, Domark released this in 1987, so it's a bit weak that in 1987 it was only 48K music. Like I said, there is a +3 disc version. I'm pretty sure Dean Swain sent me a version years ago that I've lost. Because I kill laptops like no one's business, which had music in the game, but this has sound effects, as I've had a very quick go, and I'm pretty sure the original didn't. But anyway, I'm waffling all over the start. One more thing I really want to quickly say, I mean, it's got amazing reviews in all the magazines, and later on they re-released it as a trilogy package, which was a fucking no-brainer, an absolute brilliant idea. But anyone who knows me has watched this channel for long enough will know that I think that 3D Star Strike, that came out before this, an unofficial, bootleg, quotation fingers, port of Star Wars, because it's not exactly the same, but it's wink wink, nudge nudge, my old man's a dustman, it's Star Wars, is a better port of Star Wars than this, but it's not licensed, and it's not entirely accurate to the arcade game. So that's why I always slightly, when it comes to arcade ports, official arcade ports, will say that I rank this higher than that. Gameplay wise, the other way around. But anyway, let's get. And plus, also, if I did all unofficial ports, we'd be here till fucking Armageddon. Defying Keys. I do remember this. Obviously, you know how the game works. It's a number of on-rail, target shooting games outside the Death Star, trench run, surface, towers. And it gets harder and harder and harder and ramps up as you go along. But obviously it's a port of 1983 arcade machine, and even though the machine is really old, just Vector Graphics, you would have thought that Spectrum had no chance of doing this. Now, you can invert the controls here. If you go up is down, down is up, left, right, M fire, keys are champions, quits, X because I always rest my other thumb on Z because I find it comfortable like that, particularly as an intergalactic starfighter pilots enter. Right, so, and then 0, continue. So yeah, I mean, dream come true, really, for most people to get this, because it is Generation X, I would guess, an arcade machine of that generation. It may sound like a strong descriptive term, but trust me, it is. No sample speech in this, to be fair, but let's get into it. So, score top left, wave, fighters top right, shields in the middle, you have 9 to start with. That's a nice scroll. I do like that, that's a cool scroll. Should be music here, but obviously, you know. Does it do the scroll of the story? Don't know, can't remember, been a while. Yes, there we go. Obi-Wan Kenobi is gone, but his presence is far within the Force. Oh, Star Wars, I miss good Star Wars. Remember kids, there are only 3 Star Wars movies and no TV shows. Anyway, the Empire's Death Star, under the command of Darth Vader, nears the rebel planet. You must join the rebellion to stop the Empire. The Force will be with you, always. This is what it sounded like in the arcade. So look, everything about this is a port of the arcade game, as you'd expect. They've made it look, from the outset, you know, all screens are in it. Kudos to them, because sometimes people didn't do that. So let's get into this. Yep, so I'm inverted. We're going to go with easy because I have to talk. Oh! So, it's not the quickest of things. Obviously shoot their fireballs. The more, you know, it's on the screen, there is slowdown. I mean, there is to be fair in 3D Star Strike. But the thing is, it's Star Wars Arcade. And also, it's pulling it off. And you think this slows down, try the Commodore version. Seriously. So this is a nice compromise. That's Darth's tie. Obviously I can't destroy that. But as much as, because we had 3D Star Strike as kids, as much as we liked it, you know, we were jazzed as tits when this came out. You can't destroy Darth's tie, obviously, but points win prizes. I do like these crunchy sound effects. I mean, it's been ages since I've played this version, and like I said, I'm pretty sure Dean Swain Hack sent me a 128, or was it a hack ROM? I don't know, but was the original 48K? Did that have sound effects in game? I know Empire did, which I will get round to playing, but I also played that very recently, within the last year, so. But I want it in this series of videos. Obviously Wave actually is the rounds of the game. Anyway, it's self-centered to kind of, oh look at that. No one gets home alive because it's got to try and replicate analog controls. Oh look at that. That's cool. Come on, 48K of memory, Star Wars Arcade, that's bloody cool. I always find this unbelievably tricky. Any port, any version, cramped and claustrophobic. But it's a brilliant nod, isn't it? I mean, it starts things off simply because I think they want you to get into the game and chuck in your money. The arcade, that's what I'm saying. So, gives you a trench run. Obviously, you can shoot with wall guns. What I will say for 3D Star Strike is there's more colour in here, and you would have thought the people who programmed this must have experienced 3D Star Strike, or maybe they hadn't, because if they had, I would have said there's a good basis for this. But again, this is about that game and not 3D Star Strike. I have a gameplay of 3D Star Strike. I also have a gameplay of it compared to this, if anyone's interested, and on the Amstrad CPC, which is, spoilers, not as good as the Spectrum version. I'm getting pummeled in here. Can I avoid them? Do I have to shoot everything? Can I get a white stick? I can avoid them. Not all of them, obviously. But you got to be aware that at some point, you have to get down low. Because you need to shoot the exhaust. That's cool. What was it? Ray shielded photon torpedo? Photon torpedo Star Wars. Ray shielded torpedo. Big fucking bombs. But as you can see, I'm tits fucked now. But yeah, Death Star destroyed. Bonus for remaining energy. Which isn't much. Always give me a thank you game. Oh, you're too generous. One added to deflectors. Shoot TIE fighters. Shoot fireballs. See, look how quick it is when nothing's on the screen. Yoink. Oh, face. Why do I itch so when I play games? Scratch, got away with it. At least if you're in an X-Wing, unlike lots of other spaceships in movies, you can scratch your face. Small mercies. Farty noises. Yoink. I quite like the simple 48k sound effects, actually. And like I said at the start of this video, if you know how the beeper works, when people can bring stuff like that, and lots of people did it, Joffa could do it as well, couldn't he? People can bring like renditions like that out. That's impressive, trust me. Look it up, how the beeper does music. Right. Shoot a trench run. Oh, look at you, cheeky fucker. And I almost made it a video without swearing. Bollocks. I don't care to be secretly honest. Fair play to Darth, at least he joins the fight, eh? He's not a complete snivelling pussy like, you know, other commanders. Looking at you, Tarkin. Surface. So look, I guess it's to avoid attribute clash, but our lasers, coming out of our S-foils, are now the same colour. I always thought they were X-foils, and that's why it was called X-Wing, but obviously it's called an X-Wing because the wing's X, but you know what I mean. But it's S-foils, isn't it? Or maybe I'm wrong on that, but yeah. Our laser is the same colour as the ground turret. So this is a surface run, not a tower run, because tower run, it's still cool, because it's still essentially what's in the arcade. But the tower are mahusive. They're huge. Oh, it just moved me up then. But yeah, like I said, lots of people were. You know, there were other clones, 3D Star Strike being the best one. Sure about Star Strike too, eh? But when this came out, and then Empire, and even Jedi, even though Jedi is the weakest because it's not vectors, anyone who played the arcades, went into the arcades in the early 80s, they were free games that you wanted on your Spectrum. It was nice to have knockoffs. Hence me doing this video. It was nice to have knockoffs, but there's nothing like a port of the real thing. The real branding, the real name, particularly on Star Wars. Right, trench run. So now we got fuck catwalks. Why am I struggling to shoot these fuckers? Yoink! One shield. Shield gone. I have an inkling that the Empire will be fine. But this is still impressive. Bollocks. Trench run. It's the trench run. It gets me every time. Plus also, technically, you're the bad guys. You're the terrorists. The Empire's in the right, people. Think about it. So I made it to wave 2. You're going to ask me to put my name in? Someone should remaster this for the Spectrum. Not a Spectrum X. For the original Spectrum. With in-game music, 1 to 8K AY goodness, and voices. Right, was that not even good enough? I don't even know what my score was. I didn't look top left when I was playing. Oh, poor show. Poor show. Shall we... fuck it. Oh, does it start you on 3-way? Right, well... I thought we lost the sound effects then, but no, it can't even do sound effects when it writes stuff on the screen. Crunchy, crunchy. Sounds like I'm eating my morning Wheaties. Yeah, get some of that, you Sith bastard. Right. So yeah, easily, again, hence the fact that it's in this series of videos, one of the best arcade conversions on the Spectrum. With everything I've explained about comparing it to Star Strike taken out of the equation, because this is the official Star Wars Arcade license. The start. Sorry, awkward pauses, concentrating. Even medium is, well, obviously more frisky than the first one. I also thought it was a bit shitty of Darth that he got shields and no one else did. Talk about, you know, knowing that you're clearly expendable. Oh, he's not giving me points. I never noticed that before. I always thought you got points for shooting Darth. You know. Oh well, we live, we learn. Oh, it's towers. So does it just skip stages then? Yeah, it starts us on wave 3. I did not know that. I could have just done that to show you the fucking game. All these years. Obviously shoot the tops of the towers. So not all towers have tops. Not all points win prizes. The slowdown does help you, to be fair. Oh, look at that. Does anyone get motion sickness yet? Yoink. Also, the games, they had fantastic. I forget who did it. I'm pretty sure it was a British bloke. I could be wrong there. They all had fantastic box art. They were all done like movie posters, if you know what I mean. What's the 33 mean? Oh, that's individual. Does it score you individually? Well, I've never noticed that. In my defence, to be fair, I've never noticed that because I've never been able to take my eyes off the screen. Because shit will find your face moderately quickly. Oh wait, you can crash into them. I should try and move. Well, it does give you some movement, obviously. We know that from the trench. But I forget that when you get to the towers, you have to try and avoid them. Makes sense. There we go. Trench run. 14 points for... I'm not going to shoot all towers, am I? I'm going to die horrifically. Oh! Fucking hell. Don't mess around, does it? This Empire wants us dead. Does that mean there's people walking in those catwalks? Because that's what they are, catwalks. Should just blow them up. Kill the fuckers. Even though they're in the right and we're in the wrong. Party noise. Oh, bollocks. Well, there you go. Star Wars Arcade. Atari Star Wars Arcade on the ZX Spectrum by Domark and Vector Graphics. Banging. Absolutely fantastic port. But if you want to play a version that's faster and smoother, play 3D Star Strike. But if you want to play 100% accurate port, and that's what's in this series of videos, play Star Wars. This kind of got away from me. Anyways, always I love to know what things, especially if you played this version back in the day. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.